Good afternoon. This is Mr. Gade. I'm going to walk you through Daniel's remote learning resource site. I hope everybody is staying safe and healthy. When we found out that we were transitioning to virtual instruction, we wanted to streamline that process as much as possible and put all of the resources in one spot. So I'm going to show you how to access that information now. So if you go to the Daniel's website, the very front, Daniel's remote learning resources, and this is going to be up. You just click this and it will take you to our virtual instruction Symbaloo. And so what we've done is we've created tiles. Each one of these is called a tile for each team or department. You'll see that the teams are separated by grade level. So 6th grade is in the top left corner, 7th grade is in the bottom left, 8th grade is in the top right, and then your departments are in the bottom right. The first thing you want to do is you want to have your child log into their Wake ID. So we created a tile right there for them. So if you click Wake ID login, it'll take them to this screen where they can select student and put in their information, which is their lunch number, their Wake ID number. So once they're logged in, you can go back to this site because a lot of the sites, they'll have to be into their accounts, their Google accounts, in order to access the information. So it's important that's the first thing that they should be doing. Then what you want to do, and I'm just going to pick the Marlins as an example, when you click the Marlins tab, their tile, it'll open up all the teachers. So you see Miss Mandage, Miss Jones, Mr. Link, Miss Goodwin-Taylor, Miss Snyder, Miss Uzokwe, and Miss Mercer. So depending on which teacher you're working on their assignments, you're going to click their tile. So I'm going to use Mr. Link as an example. So if I click Mr. Link's tile, it'll take me to his virtual learning platform. So he'll have information on the front page. He's got a newsletter with the Marlins. It outlines the office hours that they've set for virtual instruction. It tells you about accessing his resources are going to be under the homework announcements. So by clicking the Mr. Link tile, it takes you directly to his page, and then you're able to access the information, the assignments for that week. And the same will be true for all of the teachers on the Marlins team. Now, there are some teachers who are utilizing Google Classroom. So if you go to Google Classroom, like Miss Snyder, I know is doing a Google Classroom. So if you click Miss Snyder's, it'll take you to a Google Classroom site. And these are all the Google Classroom sites that I'm enrolled in. Now, if you happen to be not enrolled or your child is not enrolled in Miss Snyder's class, you're going to need to enroll in that class. So how would you do that? So if you go back to the Symbaloo, I've created a Google Classroom codes doc. So if you click that, it will pull up all of our teachers who are using Google Classrooms. So it has a list of all the teachers here, the team or the department, the subject, and then what the classroom codes are. So when you're in there and you click this add button in the top right, you put join class and you enter that code from this spreadsheet here and you'll get enrolled in that. So make sure if your child is not enrolled in one of their Google Classrooms for the teacher, you go to this spreadsheet, which again can be accessed by clicking the tile, which pulls up this spreadsheet. You find the code, and then you just enter the code into there, and you hit join, and you're part of that class. Now, one thing I want to be very clear about is that parents should not be joining classrooms because then they'd be privy to seeing the conversation from other students in that classroom. Only students should be enrolling or joining classroom. Parents obviously can support their child in joining the classroom and look on with the students as they access the information on Google Classroom, but we don't want parents joining the Google classes. So please make sure if you're a family member, a parent, if you're not the child, you're not joining, you're just helping your child access or join the Google Classrooms. So again, all of our grade levels are housed here. All of our departments are here. So if you have an arts class, if you have Miss Yosai or Miss Peters, you can access their content there. One stop. Again, this is located, and I'll show you again. If you go back to the Daniel's website, the very front page right here, you click Daniel's Remote Learning Resources. It will take you to the Symbaloo with all the tiles, which is where all the information is stored. In the letter that you're getting from me today also, so I'm going to link this video here, so it will be there. I also included a Daniels Magnet Middle School Virtual Learning one-pager. So if you go to that, it just has information about what virtual learning looks like at Daniels, just some outlines and then some tips at the bottom. I've also included a sample student schedule, 1 and 2. Now, if you click either one of these links in this sheet, it will force you in Google to make a copy, and that's because we want parents making a copy, and once you make a copy, you can edit it to your liking, and I'll just show you what those documents look like. Now, again, these are just templates. These you don't have to use these, but these are just a good idea to provide some structure and some systems in place for your child as they work through virtual learning. So here's just the student schedule one example. Um, they might want to set math and social studies in the first elective on Mondays. They can put the time they're going to do that. They can put the office hours down here at the bottom. They don't have to do math on Mondays. They can switch language arts. They can do science and social studies. Again, this is a template, and once you've copied it, you can edit it to your liking. But again, it just provides additional structure. Your child can go through and go to, and like Mr. Link had on his website, he had all the office hours for the Marlins team. So you can go in and you can plug those in so you and your child know when the office hours are each week. You can make sure that you're scheduling some of these other items on a daily or weekly basis. So that's the first sample schedule. And then I've included a second one, which looks like this, and it's broken down in half-hour increments. So again, we put the 4 core subjects, the 2 elective classes, office hours, and some time to check emails. Now, you don't have to do this every single day because remember, you're getting 2 core lessons a week and 1 elective lesson a week. So you can kind of space that out. Again, that provides you and your child some systems and structures to support their learning. It's always nice to have a schedule. You've noticed that we haven't blocked out 11 to 1 because that is our designated lunchtime. So just a couple of options. Again, you do not have to follow these, but we thought it would be nice to provide families with a resource if they wanted to create a schedule with their child. And then the last item on here are remote learning expectations and guidelines, and this was created from Wake County, and this is just a good document to go through with your child about some tips, some tricks, what it's going to look like, what it isn't going to look like, how you can support your child. So it'll be really nice to go through this as well. So this is all going to be on the newsletter that you got from me. The video will be linked here in case you need to rewatch it to learn a little bit more about that Symbaloo. The one pager about what virtual learning looks like at Daniels, 2 sample schedules, and then the Wake County expectations and guidelines. After this first week of virtual instruction, the teachers are going to get together and brainstorm some tips and tricks specific to Daniels on how parents can support their child, and I'll be pushing that out next week. We want to do a week of instruction to see how things go before creating that list because we really don't know what to expect this first week. This is obviously very fluid. Teachers worked really hard on their sites and getting things ready for Monday. Your feedback is greatly appreciated, but we just hope that you have a little patience with us as we get through this because there's going to be things that we don't anticipate. But as we work through it, I imagine like everything we do at Daniels, we'll perfect it and do a wonderful job of it. Again, I hope everybody is staying safe and healthy, and I look forward to seeing everybody hopefully sooner rather than later. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend.